All right, everybody. Oh boy. Let's get this underway. I'll probably just turn this into a YouTube video just so I don't have to, because I'm going to go over the balance changes at some point anyway. Might as well do it on stream so I can talk to you guys about it. And then just port that over to YouTube. That would make my life a lot easier. So we're gonna go and move B a bit. Oh, thanks, Trirem. Enhance! Enhance! Okay, hi everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube. Got some balance changes coming up, currently in the open beta on Steam. So we're just going to go over these changes, and we can see the varying degrees of me slowly slipping into insanity. So let's go here. Elite Elephant Archers +2 armor versus anti-archer attacks. Elephant Archers -2 armor versus anti-cavalry archer attacks. So this makes Elephant Archers a lot better against skirmishers, specifically, and just as bad versus Camel Archers. It works like Low Kingdoms now? Okay, that makes sense. So, I'm not sure if this affects anything other than Camel Archers, but I think this is a pretty nice buff to Elephant Archers. I mean, it was kind of stupid that they were just pretty much worse than War Wagons in almost every single way, so I think this is a perfectly fine change. Eagle Scout training time +3 seconds in the Castle Age, same as Eagle Warrior. This is the exact change that I proposed, so yeah. No, it doesn't change versus skirmish. Wait, what? Wait a minute. No, wait. Yeah, you're right. Then wait, what does this do? What does anti-archer damage but not anti-cav archer? Is it really Genoese crossbow? You know what? Here's the frickin' tech tree when you need it. Because LA archers would take +2 from regular knights? Why? Do you mean Persian knights or just regular knights? Because knights don't do bonus damage against cav archers, do they? I don't think they do. Oh! Yeah, that's weird. That makes sense. Thorwin, it's on my Discord, but all this will be going on YouTube anyway. Anyway, let's get back to the changelog. Here we are. Okay, so that's actually not that big of a change either way. But the Eagle change, that's just good. Just agree with the change. Makes sense. Incan Laman Bow is no longer tied to the Scout, requires town center on Nomad style maps. So this is actually a little bit of a buff to the Incas, makes them more consistent with Low Kingdoms. They just get the llama in the middle of their TC as soon as the TC is built on Nomad maps, and you, as the Incas, you will have 100% the llama right underneath the town center that you can quite easily take. Vietnamese reveal enemy bows no longer works in full tech tree games. That just seems like a bug fix. No one gives a shit about full tech tree games. Malay Infinite, yeah, that no one cares about that. No one cares about that. Teuton team bonus no longer overrides faith. Okay, I guess this may apply in DM to some degree, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because monks aren't usually that big a deal in DM games. Fixes the issue with siege workshops not receiving extra HP and armor. I guess that's a slight deal, but not too big of a deal. It's a bug fix. Placed on desert crack, not receiving bonus damage when attacked. Oh yeah, I remember this terrain. This was added in the African kingdoms. Yeah, like that was the whole point of the terrain, but then it like didn't work for a while. So that could make, for some more interesting maps. Hunting dogs? The fuck is hunting dogs? Hunting dogs isn't in the game anymore. It appears in games with starting ages later than Dark? What? That's weird. Villagers and towers do reduced bonus damage versus walls before the Castle Age. So this is mostly for Arena, trying to help it be more like Arena. In that, a lot of the classic Arena players were complaining that the Trushes were too strong because they'd be super good at just nuking down the weaker walls, and then you're just essentially playing Arabia at that point. Hunting dogs is just disabled. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, that tech is not in the game anymore because it was silly. But yeah, so that, I think, is a pretty good change. Just a little bit more of a nerf that it does apply to Arabia to some degree, but is mostly going to be impactful on Arena. Watchtowers, guard towers, and keeps cost plus 25 wood. I have talked about this before on my previous video where I talked about the ECL balance changes. I think it's a good change. It requires you to have a better wood economy to go for a trush, and it slows down you getting your farming economy up and running when you're going for a tower rush. Siege tower collision size made a bit smaller, so the unit is now a bit smaller. Seems fine. Coinage moved up to the Castle Age, banking moved up to the Imperial Age. Feudal Age slinging is stupid. I think slinging in general is kind of bad, but I like the idea that you have to get at least to the Castle Age. Couriers, upping their cost. Talked about it before. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. I think Incas are still going to be super good. I mean, the thing with the Incas is that they're gold-intensive counter units, and the Slinger and the Kameyark are just super good against stuff that even they're not supposed to be countering. So I kind of like the idea of nerfing the Slingers a little bit, but I mean, this is fine. I mean, it's fine. Not the biggest of deals. Italian fishing ship costs reduced to 15% from 20%. I think it was 25% before, and now it's down to 15%. I like this a lot. Italians were just a little too good on water maps. I think Malay are still probably going to be too good on water maps, but I think Italian's still going to be just the water map civ. The way water maps work is that there's going to be one civilization that is like even as much as like 5% better than every other civilization, and because it's so determined in early water games by just who can execute the fire galley rush the best. And the civ that can do that is going to be the best civ and will be picked 100% of the time. It's why Vikings were picked the most at AOC, is just because they did the galley rush the best, and now it's just fire galleys. So that's still probably going to be Italians. There may be some competition with Malay, but it's still probably going to be Italians, because Italians also have the ability to go for condos. You wait for the patch to go live? That's probably a good idea, Triram. You don't want any, like, bugs coming in, like the elephant one. Whoops! Khmer receive Arbalest upgrade. Effie. Mr. Cision. We're gonna need to have a little chat. Capt Cab, I have to disagree with you. No. They don't need Arbalest. They don't need Arbalest, but they need his thumb ring. The Civ needs thumb ring. Hashtag give Khmer thumb ring 2018. I mean, come on. Arbalest, like, it's just a way worse version of giving them thumb ring. Like, the Civ doesn't need Arbalest. They're still going to be on, like, they're still going to be pretty bad on flank, because getting Arbalest without thumb ring is just, you don't have good Arbalests. I mean, it makes you, like, a little bit better, but not that much. Oh, and you knew the rant was coming, Trirem. You ain't stopping this rant. But you still don't have a good late game option that isn't elephants or scorpions. And elephants and scorpions are not always viable. I mean, elephants are always going to be good in team games, but in 1v1s you can't reliably get elite battle elephants up and running. So the idea with giving them thumb ring means that in the Castle Age, your crossbowmen are going to be just as good as every other civilization, much like, say, the Persians or the Malians, who both don't have the don't have good Arbalests, but at least have the option for good crossbowmen in the Castle Age, and you at least have, you know, a benefit for going for double archery range with your 22 pop-up time double archery range shenanigans that you see from pretty much every single flank civ these days. And then in the late game, because you have thumb ring, you have fully upgraded heavy cav archers, and that is the exact thing they need, because it's a good late game option for them that isn't elephants or scorpions. And we see with civilizations like the Indians and the Japanese, who both have fully upgraded heavy cav archers, that they can just go for that as an option, because sometimes going for heavy cav archers is going to be your best late game option. But the Khmer can't do that because thumb ring is just integral to going for cav archers, because without thumb ring, cav archers are bleh. But I'll end my rant there. I state my case, or I rest my case. Mayan farm workers work at closer speed to the farmers of other civilizations. Why? Do they need this? I mean, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal, because food is not usually a very important resource for the Mayans, but I just don't see why this is necessary. Like, Mayans are really good already. I just don't know why this is necessary. Like, it's a very slight buff to a civ that's, like, one of the best in the game. I don't know. Elite Arambai, well, just Arambai in general cost increase. We saw this, talked about this in the ECL changes. This is not the change I would personally go for, but I still think that it's, like, okay. It's a, you know, it's still, I think, you know, makes Arambai a lot harder to mass up, but you know, I personally like removing their pierce armor, turning them into glass cannons. Because that's what the unit really is. It just does a ton of damage, but then it wouldn't have any armor, and it would really sort of contrast it better with conquistadors. Yeah, exactly, Cap. But yeah, guys, don't blame Trirem. Trirem is just doing his best here, because it's considered a bug fix. Or a buff fix, which I assume is a bug fix. But, I mean, I think Cap is right, because one, I don't think they should make the unit cost food, because that would make it just way too similar to the Conquistador, and the unit is already way too similar to the Conquistador. I think they really need to, you know, have more of a separate identity than the Conquistador, and I think, you know, removing their pierce armor would be a good way of doing that, but this at least makes it harder to mass them up, so you can't really as easily get your farming economy up and going. Like, it's something, right? Elite Karambit Warrior cost changed to 30 food and 15 gold, up from 25 food, 10 gold, so it is plus 5 food and gold per unit. So, like, I've said this before, but the thing with Malay is that they're one of the few civs where gold is not an important resource for them. Their armies are not gold intensive. You're making legions of skirmishers and two-handed swordsmen that don't cost gold, and like, yeah, food is the most important resource, so maybe like the extra 5 food matters to some degree, but I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I still think you're going to spam Karambits pretty much just as easily as before, and I know Trirem agrees with this, but we like the idea of reducing their attack by one for the normal Karambit warriors, and then 1 for the elite upgrades. You don't need to caps that one, Granis. I assume that was a mistake. You don't need to be a Tokaraka here. Vietnamese archer HP bonus changed to an immediate plus 20% bonus to foot archers instead of the staggered effect. That's interesting. Actually, I need to bust out the calculator on this one. So, archers in the feudal age have 30 HP, so 20% of that is 6. So 36 HP archers in the feudal age. Crossbowman has 35 HP, so that means... Oh, that means they only have 1 more HP. So really, this is just a big deal for the feudal age. Because having archers that have 36 HP is pretty good. It's going to make the Vietnamese a lot more potent in the feudal age. And maybe that's what they needed? I don't know. I still don't think the Civ is that interesting. Yes, it does apply to skirms. And skirms have the same HP as archers and crossbowmen. So your skirmishers will also have 36 HP. And that's a lot of HP. This one I'm actually is the one change that I am the most interested about. I want to playtest this one and see how well it plays in game. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make the Civ good, or I don't think this makes the Civ more interesting. Granis, didn't we have this discussion before? Isn't the foot archer classification also applying to skirms? This is why we have the tech tree open. It's like Britons. Foot archers except skirmishers, so that would assume that foot archers as a general classification would mean they are foot archers. Yeah, and the Saracen, yeah, that was the exigence of that discussion, was that the Saracen bonus applies to skirmishers as well. Foot archers plus 2 attack versus buildings, and we thought that applied to the Schmerasens. Maybe they just need to reword that. Because Granis is right. That's an inconsistency. Foot archers +1/+1 armor. And it used to apply to skirmishers, but that was a bug. So I think they just need to reword the tech. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. Anyway, back to the changelog. Elite Rattan archers +5 HP. How much HP do they have right now? I think it's 40? Oops. Because normal arbalests have 40 HP. And Elite Rattan archers currently have 40 HP as well. So that would make Elite Rattan archers have 45 HP. It's not the 48 HP of Elite Arbalests, or not Elite Arbalests, normal Arbalests with the Vietnamese, so they will still have 3 less HP than Arbalests, but I don't know, this is kind of a weird change because like, I thought the whole reason that you wouldn't make Rattan archers in certain situations is that they have less HP than normal arbalests. So I don't like this change. This just makes the unit feel more like an arbalest, but better. Considering writing a rant on Reddit? Oh god, Granis, why? Why? What have you done? Well, Rattans will have 48 too. Granis, the archer bonus for Vietnamese doesn't apply. It only applies to archery range units. Rattan's never benefited from the extra HP bonus. It's just all archery range units. That includes archers, skirmishers, and cav archers. It used to... Wait, it doesn't anymore? Now it'll be foot archers? Wait a minute. You're right, Granite. This is... Yeah. No, because the way I was reading it was, instead of staggered effect, just meant that they were changing it from what it used to be, or what it is currently, which is archery range units plus 10, 15, 20%. Like, the way I read it initially was they're just making that just a plus 20% from the beginning of the game. But you're right in that it's, it says, 2-foot archers instead of staggered effect. So that means that Rattan archers will just literally be better than arbalests in every single way. And I don't like that for unit design. I don't like it. It's not that we don't have situations where Greenius... like, it makes the unit good, but not, like, interesting. Like, yes, Mangudai are just better versions of cav archers. Yes, longbowmen are just better versions of arbalests, but... No, it doesn't apply to cav archers. At least they can tank an onager shot? Yes, that is true. That is true. Wait, can they? 48 HP. So... Wait, does that actually make chemistry matter? Wait, guys. Chemistry is going to matter, because onagers deal melee damage, right? So... if the arbalest / rattan archers have +3 armor, it means that the onagers will need 51 damage to kill them. That's pretty funny. All other archer you use are better than arbs. That's true, but I feel like at least the other archer you use feel different roles. I don't know. I guess I don't hate the Rattan archer change. I don't hate it. I still think the civilization overall is boring. I've said it before, but the CTCs at the start of the game bonus, I'd like to see that change to +1 LOS to all units. That would include, your villagers and scouts in the early game, and that would actually be a pretty damn good bonus in the early game. But that's just me. And this is far, far from the worst change. Korean building is reduced for towers? What does that mean? What? Can someone tell me? Hopefully Trirem, and if he's still in chat, can tell me what that means? Korean faster building fortification bonus is reduced for towers, similar to how the Spanish building bonus is reduced for wonders. Because right now, the Korean towers build 33% faster. No, it should be 33%. You can double check this, though. Yeah. Walls, towers, castles build 33% faster. No, because that's actually wrong, because the Spanish bonus does apply to wonders. It just doesn't apply in their full degree. The thing with Spanish villagers is that, okay, so the Spanish bonus for building any building except a wonder is plus 30%. That's pretty normal and consistent. However, the Spanish bonus applies to building wonders, but only 25%, which is as much as having treadmill crane. Because treadmill crane does help you build wonders faster. It's just the Spanish don't get to build their wonders faster than any other civilization with treadmill crane. So I have no idea what that means for the tower bonus. Does it mean that the towers are now built at plus 25% faster instead of plus 33% faster? Because that's still really good. That still means the Korean Tower Rush is really good. Like, because right now in the ECL balance changes, the Koreans just don't have faster building towers. It's plus 0%. So I hope you guys understand what I'm confused and concerned about when I, like, the difference between plus 0% and plus 25% is massive. So I don't get that one. I just don't understand it. And last one, Mamluks receive 5 less damage from halberdiers. Good change. Good change. I like it. Yep. Halberdiers were too good against Mamluks. And without Zealotry, they killed Mamluks in 2 hits. So, yeah, I like this. So, this list of changes overall, I'm not very happy about, to be honest. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just don't like most of these changes. Yeah. The only changes that I really like are the Vietnamese changes. I think it's a good step in the right direction. I like the Mamluk changes. I like the Italian changes. I like the coinage and banking changes. I mean, this change and this change I think are just good quality of life changes. Well, I guess this is more than a quality of life change. I think this is a good change as well. These are mostly bug fixes. I think this is a good change, but yeah. In one stream, they make a new Civ superb, and how now they both mostly buff to keep balance. So here's the thing. Don't bite Trirem's head off for this, because this isn't his decision, and he and I have talked a lot about buffing the old Age of Kings civilizations mostly. But there really is a lot of power creep with the new civilizations over the old ones. Like, Indians just kind of being better than Persians. And yeah, stuff like that. Slavs just kind of being better than Celts in a lot of ways, not every way. And honestly, I was under the impression that in this balance patch, they were going to, 1, give Vietnamese siege rams, which I thought was a great change. 2, I thought that both Berbers and Burmese were going to lose bombard cannons, and Burmese were additionally going to lose siege engineers. I was under the impression that all of those changes were coming in this balance patch. I also know that for technical reasons with Microsoft, they couldn't make any sort of rework changes, so it's not like they could, fundamentally change like some bonuses or something, because they just didn't have the go-ahead for Microsoft to do that, because that would require some sort of legal stuff or whatever. So they could only like make number changes and tech tree changes. But I just don't understand a lot of these changes. The Karambit change and the Arambite change, I think the Karambit change is the worst change. Because this just, I feel, barely matters. Like, yes, it technically matters a little bit, but not much. The Arambite change, I don't think it's great, but I think it's at least in the right direction. You know, it's something, right? It could be worse. I think Khmer receiving Arbalest is, again, only a little bit better than awful. I don't really just see how they're going to benefit from that much, because you're still going to have to make a really awkward transition in the late game from just going pure ranged units to elephants, which is like a total 180 switch. Main change is the tower villager damage. Yeah, that is a change I like. I do like this change a lot. Hey, Sogum. Khmer could become the old Indians? I don't think so. Arbs plus... Yeah, but their Rs are not very good. They don't have thumb ring. And guys, the, not technically the elephant in the room, guess what Civ didn't change? The Berbers. The Berbers got 0 changes here. 0 changes. Burmese barely got nerfed. Like, I feel like they're not addressing some of the most important, necessary things. Berbers and Slavs, definitely both going to be top picks. I also was under the impression that the Slav change was going to be fixed again, so that their farming rate would be nerfed a little bit. Yeah, Berbers are not fine. Plus X range from... It is from Castle. Also, guys, if you missed any of this and want to catch it, this is going on YouTube, so I'll post that on YouTube later today, so don't worry about that. Wait, where does it say the Britons... Wait, where are the Britons? I don't see any Britons. Berbers and Malians shouldn't have HCs? I think it's fine that Malians have HC. I don't think it's fine that Berbers have HC. I really don't think it's fine that Berbers have HC. I think that one is more controversial. But like Berbers and Burmese losing Bombard Cannon shouldn't happen. Don't need HC at all. They have Gebetto. Yeah, but Franks have Throwing Axemen and Hand Cannoneers. I think Malians are a really tricky civ to nerf, but I think it's Nobody41 who first suggested the idea of giving or removing Malians' bloodlines. I think that's an interesting change. Throwing Axemen are good granites. Throwing Axemen are actually really good. They're a pretty underrated unit, honestly. Yeah, I mean, the sling taxes are... That's all good. That's all good. But I think that should cover most of it for this particular discussion. Overall, mixed bag of changes, but overall not really that happy, honestly. And I think that there need to be a lot of buffs for old civs that didn't happen here. And I think there need to be a lot more nerfs for some of the newer civilizations. But overall, at least there are some changes that we can be happy about. And I don't think any of these changes will break any civilizations and make them even more overpowered. So that's something, except for this Korean change. If the Korean change is plus 25% faster build speed for towers, that's still going to be super, super OP. Yeah. Small buffs nerfs rather than big ones. I like the idea of small changes, Pete, but I think the small changes need to be frequent to make... I don't like the idea of small changes like once a year. Because we're still seeing like AOC civs really power crept by new civs. But anyway, that's going to be it for this discussion and this video. You know, leave a like if you enjoyed it or whatever, if you're watching this on YouTube.